So today I will be starting work on the Bonneville. There's a problem with this oil cooler hose right here. It's sprung a leak somewhere. It's been dripping onto the exhaust, and as you can see it's close to the head, and it's been pushing fumes out, so it's a dead giveaway it's leaking. And I'm not sure if you can see where it's been running down here. So the stuff that hasn't been burning off is running down. I think it's spraying all over the place too. So I need to get that fixed. This design is the early one. It's this called, well, it's been called the spaghetti head because of the way the oil cooler tubes just sort of crisscross each other in front there. The later design was much better at this. Okay, so on the head, looks like a 19mm socket fits nicely on there. On the oil cooler, this is a 24mm socket. There's also a hex underneath, and it's going to be very important that I don't cripple the oil cooler, so I'm going to need to, I don't have a 24mm open ender, unfortunately, so I want to be able to get this on in some form, maybe this way. Maybe through there. Yeah, it looks like that might work. So that when I loosen this off, I can stop this bit from turning, and that will save the oil cooler from getting twisted up and breaking. So it's very important to restrain that. I just put the plug back in the drain hole in the, so just in case I drop something in there. That's not too messy so far. And we got the right side. Yep. Not high torque, which is what I expect, as the bolts are hollow. They have to move oil, so when you hollow out a bolt, it loses a lot of its strength. So you need low torque on these. See, it's pretty hollow. Right, here we go with the. So I've got this on. It's kind of rubber mounted anyway, so I'll just hold it in place. Oh, this one's tight. Yeah, there we go. Get that off. Take that one out. It's got copper washers on both sides. It would be possible to reuse copper. We'll see how it goes. They're also pretty cheap to just replace. Looks like I might be able to pull it out this way. The other side is hooked in. There we go. Right, so I took the hose over to the hydraulic store, and the biggest problem he said was this adapter that they've got welded on the end. You know, without cutting it off, he's got no idea what's inside. He does not have anything like this kind of a ferrule or a crimping machine that will crimp it even. He did chop off a bit of regular hose for me, but you know, the hose is no good. The temperature's only good to like 180 or something, so it's useless. Plus, when you bend it as much as this one gets bent, let's see if I can do it one-handed. You notice what happens? Yeah, it flattens out. So it would just choke the flow. No good. No bueno. So it's going to have to be something like this. The braiding on the outside actually keeps it kind of round when it's bent over bent. So I've got my Dremel tool with a cut-off wheel in it, and I'm going to see if I can cut this thing down the length of it, and then maybe I can use a screwdriver to pry it apart and get it off. We'll see what happens. Let's fire it up. think the cut-off wheel's probably got about as far as it's going to get before I start cutting the tube. So let's see if I can pry this sucker apart with a screwdriver. It's really stiff. Unfortunately, the one I picked, the wheel gets really close to this, so I don't want to cut into this piece. So I've probably got much more material here than I really want. I'll keep working on it and see what I can come up with. I think I might be getting somewhere with it. I was using my cold chisel and a hammer right in there, and that seemed to assist it a bit. It's gotten looser now, at least. So I'll pry it open a bit more, and maybe I can get this bugger to slide off. Okay, more working. Well, it's proven to be a bit more reluctant than I'd hoped, so I'm going to do a Dremel cut on the other side, and then it should fold easily in two pieces. That seems to have got it. So, there it goes. Did I actually? I may have actually cut into the fitting there with the Dremel. Kind of looks like I did. Yeah, I went all the way through the braiding. Actually cut into the adapter. Let's see if you can see that. There we go. Yeah, overcut it. Right, so if I go ahead and measure this fitting right in the middle, it seems to be flared at the end. So I'm getting a little under 3/8 of an inch, yeah, just about 9 millimeters. It's a bit bigger at the end, it's closer to 3/8, and then when I get down this end it's also closer to 3/8, a little over 9 millimeters, and that's about 1/2 inch long. So, okay, so I've cut using my tin snips. Cut the braiding back. It's quite nasty stuff, that. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is what's called a convoluted inner liner. So it has this spiral. It's made into a sort of a spiral shape so it can bend more. These can get the bend radius down, which is what you need on these. But it really does feel like nylon rather than PTFE. I think there's a store locally that has some of this stuff. It wasn't the hydraulic store I went to, there's another one. And I'll see if I can find something there that will do the job. Right, found some tube at the local store. They said it was 3/8, but I guess these are pipe sizes, so it actually measures 5/16, brilliant. So it needed to be 3/8 to be a direct fit, so it doesn't actually go on the end of that tube that well. So it's kind of a tight fit on the end of this. I'm going to have to do some adjusting. So with the tin snips, I stuck the tin snips in about as far as I could get it, which really wasn't very far, about 1/4 of an inch, maybe if I'm lucky. But that was enough. I didn't cut the liner, but that's enough to be able to get this thing in, and then it pushes in. So I think I've got a fighting chance now. Yep, I think I've got a chance. Got some good heavy-duty hose clamps to get on that sucker. I'm going to have to fill in the notch I made, which I'm going to use some JB Weld, fill that notch in, and I think I might be able to repair this hose. $22. The kit assembly is going to cost me $168. Plus, I'm sure there'll be a stocking fee, a bit extra 15% profit. So I'm sure that would be north of $200, and take about 5 weeks. So I've got a plan. Right, so I'm going to mix up a little bit of JB Weld. Had trouble getting the hardener out, which I think is a typical kind of problem. because the lid sticks. It usually splits, so just do a little bit here. It's supposed to be a 50-50 mix, and this is going to be absolutely more than enough. Dribble it along, push it down, make sure it gets into the bottom of the groove. So, just about done with trimming. Just a catch, make sure nothing else is stuck on there. Okay. Looks good. Trimmed it up, it's nice and level.